First of all, I think your analysis was very straight line. History doesn't run in a straight line.
Kid, you cannot tell your neighbor he is stealing ducks when you are stealing funds.
As High Commissioner, I was wrong. As Charandas Prasad, I reacted naturally how any person would have.
I did not come here for that kind of abuse. I did not come here for that kind of abuse. If you're going to go along that road, I'll walk off.
But it's all okay once they're talking. If they were talking, I could not have been here today.
You got ADHD.
I got that.
Calm down.
I think I've done enough in terms of taking our team out of trouble from losing.
Tomorrow, Taylor. That's good. I'm reading the script now, and the first person that comes to my mind to play a detective,
Yes,
but
okay,
an
it's good
erratic
Michael
detective
Rodriguez.
is Michael Rodriguez.
Why an African slap an Indian? Why a man and slap a woman? No, Gildarie, you deal with that. You deal with that.
We must encourage platforms like this because it brings together different people and allows for discussions to take place in our country on a multiplicity of fundamental issues.
Gildarie, you apologizing for something you think I did is wrong. I don't want you to do that, and you should not have done that.
Hi, good evening. Welcome once again to the Gildarie Freddie Kissoon show, wherever you are. Whatever it is that you're doing, such a pleasure coming to you once again. We're going to have a very good show tonight after being absent. It's so good to be back. We've just celebrated 1 year being around. I never thought it was possible that we could have lasted, but we did last. Had some interesting time, interesting conversation, and this country, I'm sure you will agree with me, is so much more better because we've been able to touch on issues, debate those issues, get angry with those issues. Maybe there would have been some tears. I know there were some tears over the last 12 months and so on issues that we would have touched here. And that is what the good debate, good talks are all about. We should be able to do that. It should not be boring. It should not be predictable. It should be touching an issue, the north centers of this country. So we're going to get right into it because I want to say not only good night to you, but good night to my co-host, my energetic co-host, Freddie Kissoon. I'm going to hand you right over to him because we want to open the lines a little later after we would have done some chats back and forth. And as usual, have the people have their say. It is your time. Freddie Kissoon, over to you, sir.
Well, you're going to hand over to me just to say hi to our viewers because you've been away, so you need to talk to your viewers. They need to call in and ask you what you've been doing. We have a seminal, exciting, titillating, whatever adjective you want to use, announcement to make this evening. It's going to be a very surprising announcement. We're going to make that announcement about 4 to 5 minutes into the show because it's so important you can't make it at the start of the show because as natural anyway around the world at shows like these, when the show continues you get more viewers. I think so. So we're going to make this announcement. But there's nothing more to say for now, except to hand back to Gildarie and let him tell us what he's been doing with his life, his journalistic self, da-da-da-da.
I think I'd probably want to talk about my professional life, and you could probably talk about something that you seem to know. You seem to be an inquiring investigator. Tomorrow morning,
all journalists having.
Yeah, you're supposed to. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be launching. I'm very proud of this. Our company, after 1 year in existence, like this show. Tomorrow morning, the West Side people, we're making it official. We were testing two traffic cams. You know those traffic cams that we introduced by accident on the East Bank. We have a couple in Georgetown on Mandela Avenue, one by Sheriff Hospital. And the people of Guyana have been using them to, whenever they're going into critical area, congested area, they've been using those cameras to plan which street they would divert to if there is big traffic going on there. So the people on the west side have been clamoring, have been harassing us and say, look, you guys have forgotten us. Could you get over there? The problem with over there is that the infrastructure was not there. You didn't have the internet, and you didn't have any building that had the internet there. So we came up with an idea, and this is what I like about this country, and there are solutions to every problem. We approached Inet Vishuk, very enterprising young man. I think he is a brother of Minister of India Prasad, Minister of Human Services, and he is one of the principals of Inet. And we said, good, you have been very good to the people of Guyana. Could you give us some free internet across the river? I have the camera. I would put the infrastructure in place, and I'm going to find a way of getting electricity from the post. And we set up a camera. We got GPL to agree with it. So we got GPL, which is a state company. We got two private companies, which is myself and Enet, and we set up a traffic cam across the Harbour Bridge. We have some across on this side on the West Bank. And those things have been breaking numbers. You're going to see the numbers that people have been getting on using it. So it's technology at work. We put one at Green and Hope, and we head into the East Coast around your area too. Maybe I could put one to train on the house because it could swing. It's a 360 degrees angle. I don't know. But it's going to be there.
My privacy.
Yeah, it's going to be around by the UG road there.
The threats I got, and I just don't want
to. I can probably protect you, but we put in a couple on the East Coast here.
Please don't put nothing on my house.
You don't want anybody looking at your house.
No.
But we've been asked by the East Coast folks to put some there. So it is, I think, Minister Indara and the private sector is going to be there for us to launch it tomorrow. We launch an app too. You could click on the button on your phone and you go straight to all the cameras. And so I'm very proud of that 1 year later that we could deliver this technology free to the people. And so you asked me what I've been working on, Freddie, and that is what we've been working on. And I'm proud to say that tomorrow morning it is going to be launched officially, and the government likes this kind of technology, private sector likes it, and of course, forget those people. The people out there like it, and I'm very proud to be part of the company and the partnership and the collaboration which has been able to put this out there. So while I'm not with you talking on the show, I've been having my own little thing working there. We have a corporate responsibility as a company to deliver to the people, and we are putting the cameras out there free of cost to the people. We haven't taken a cent for it yet. Eventually, I might ask a couple of our corporate people to probably sponsor some spots on it. As of now, we're doing all the maintenance and paying for whatever cost is attached to the maintenance of that. It's a good thing that eNetworks and GPL has now seen it fit to be on board in their wisdom. I must say thanks to Vishuk again, and of course to the principals at GPL, which will be Mr. Homer and the folks across the river, and Gary Hall and Mr. Harjon, Bart Harjon, all these technical directors and so on, who has been working very closely with us the last couple of months to get it done. Came at a significant cost, a small company like ours. Fortunately, I've been able to pressure my directors to, could you give me some resources? And they have been kind enough as migrants to say, look, it's for the betterment of Guyana, let us do it. So all for the people of Guyana. That's what I've been doing.
Well, if I don't know if you mentioned that you have your luncheon tomorrow, you could through the show invite some folks to come to the lunch.
Yeah, you guys could come.
You have snacks?
Yeah, I think I should. You want to come?
No. I
have it across the river, across the bridge. There is a small affair, but you guys are come. It's a celebration of what our capacity, Freddie. I didn't know anything about technology, but we learned, and I do believe that our people right within this country have the capacity and they could deliver, and if we put our mind to anything. This morning I was on Critic too, and he was interviewing me on it, and we had quite a few people who were complimenting us on it, and for me it's neither here nor there. I believe that the people have a need. If we could deliver it and make people's lives easy, and of course our company, the spin-off is that our company gets known, that is a good thing about it. So that's where we are.
But you certainly know more about technology than me. Look, I don't know nothing about a smartphone. I don't know what is meant by cloud and all these terms. this is my technology. So you certainly know more technology than me. But if you're listening, Gildarie has his launching in the morning, the cameras that he put up on the West Coast. Just step in and meet Gildarie and feel free to be...
Are you coming? There's going to be some sandwich for you.
No. You could pack my sandwich in a nice styrofoam box and send it to me.
So you want me to leave across the river and drive all the way to...
You could ask a taxi to deliver it.
Okay.
But did you say when is the...
It's going to be 10 o'clock across the western side of the junction of the Harbour Bridge before you either turn to go to the...
Is it al fresco thing, an open air thing?
Yeah, it's open air thing.
Oh,
because
the
it's very
function
short.
is open air?
Yes. The camera's up on the post, so we didn't want to put down any tent or anything. It's a very small thing, but it's significant because it's a collaboration between state, private sector. We put in resources, they put in resources, and we make it happen for the people of Guyana. I wish to see much more of these kind of initiatives for not only cameras, but you could have other things that could benefit the people. And I think we have businesses in Guyana, not a small business like mine, that could probably be able... We have enough money in this country that we could do little things here, little things there. One dirty bill, damn Freddie. And I believe we could do it.
Well, if you're looking at us, this is a calling this evening. We go until 10 o'clock. This is open line about anything and everything under the sun and under the moon. So please call in. Look, the numbers are on the screen. When we are about 45 minutes into the show, we will make a very, very interesting announcement and a statement about something. But we'll get to that. The lines are open. Call us about anything. Please respect libel. If you call and say somebody is a thief, you would not get sued because we don't know you. We don't know where you're located. But that person is going to sue TBN, they break news, the platform, Gildarie, and they're going to sue me. So the lines are open until 10 o'clock. Feel free to bring to the attention of Guyana some things that are happening that don't need to happen, that be corrected. Some bridge that are falling down where a school is located and it's been there too long. Some types of business people who are not doing the right thing. Public sector institutions that are, not showing a good attitude. How have you been doing with NIS? What about your complaints about these crazy minibus drivers? No apology. And crazy drivers in Guyana. So talk about anything. Sociology, politics, economics, infrastructure, forestry, oil, politics. Talk about anything. Call us and let's get a feel about how you feel about things. It doesn't mean we're going to solve them. A family that has been suffering from noise nuisance has been calling us, Gildarie and I separately, almost for 5 months now. There's nothing we can do. Through this program, the EPA came, the EPA went down there. So the lines are open. That's the WhatsApp number on your screen, and then the landline number. Call us and let's see what you have.
Yes, and just before we head to the lines, I must say congratulations. While they have been mixed, I think we can't take away from the glory of the students who would have learned of the results from the grade 6 exams today. And this is interesting. We have 3 people tied for the top spot, and let me tell you how it goes. Out of 507 marks, 3 of them got 506.7 marks. And the interesting thing about that, one came from Lenora, Gladford Archer, Ritisha J. Gobin of Academy of Excellence, which is it looks like a private school, a New Guyana school, Ayana Jagan.
Two are private schools.
Yeah, 2 private schools. So I must say kudos to those folks and all those who would have done extremely well. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't give kudos to the others. You tried your best. Life doesn't end there. Let us continue it. So I have to say that. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, gentlemen. Good to see you back.
Thank you.
Mr. Gildarie.
Thank you.
After so long absent. Good evening to I would like to, I don't know if you've been reading recently, within last week, but NASA has put out temperature data.
Oh, that is worrying.
Satellites. And what they have shown is that starting from Monday, and then Tuesday, and Wednesday, are the hottest days globally, averaged over the planet Earth, ever recorded in human history. And the last time we have had such heat, according to paleoisotope work done on ice cores from Antarctica, is that you have to go back 125,000 years during the last interglacial to get such a temperature. And at 125,000 years ago, basically humans were scratching signs onto bones, right? So this is very frightening stuff. Even the NASA people, the scientists in America, are horrified that global warming has taken a quantum leap virtually, and what they're saying is that the place will get hotter this year because the El Nino is now kicking in. So you got global warming plus the natural El Nino heating, right? And then in addition to that, you got all these Canadian wildfires, probably the largest amount of natural fire on the face of the earth, adding so much more CO2. As they burn the trees and the leaves and the
Sunday was extremely hot, and today was very, very humid. I think people are feeling the thing of it. I saw Texas one day; they had about 13 persons died. They got in, I think, south of the USA. They
125 degrees.
Yeah, to 125. You know, that's just crazy numbers. I think Europe has been complaining bitterly. But thank you very much.
Next week at 122.
Yeah. So you guys got to drink a lot of water, protect yourself. You know, it is gonna Guyana is gonna feel it, and especially in some parts of the coast.
And then there's a fear that it will cause some drying out of the Amazon areas that have been deforested. You know, for cattle. And
it's stuff. Always that fear. It's not too much of rain; it's too much of sun, and when we get it, we get two extremes. I agree. Thank you very much for that. Right. I think that people should know that, and that is a worry something. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Bye. Horrid temperatures has been ripping across parts of the world, parts of the U.S. Lots of people dead. Freddie, do you get hot? Is it?
Yeah, it is. But one of the things I wanted to ask him and the experts is that I don't think it is evenly spread around the world, because last week, one of the days in last week was the hottest day on planet Earth ever recorded. And it wasn't that unbearable here. So when I read in the Guardian newspaper that a day last week was the hottest day, I turned to my wife and say, well, it wasn't exceptional.
Yeah, it wouldn't be spread because so you would have different, you would have different experience. Depends if you in your home, like Long Island. I stayed in Long Island, which is a part of New York there, and that's just adjoining Queens. And the temperature there is slightly cooler than what is happening. But let me tell you this, within 2 days, I noticed the temperature has dramatically increased. But in Queens, and you'll go to Manhattan, it's really horrible there. So we want to hear from you guys, 231-2982, or if you're local or overseas, you want to call us on WhatsApp, it's 637-1071. So good to be back with you folks. Let us talk about anything that's bothering you, or you could just make a comment. We had somebody not too long text me. She was listening to my story, and I'm not afraid to say that I came from a very Freddie has said it in the past too. We came from very humble backgrounds and poverty. We're not ashamed to talk about it. But we're in hand-me-downs. I don't know if Freddie would have experienced that, but
more than that.
And I'm not ashamed to talk about that. And she was crying literally, and she says, you know, my story resonated where we came from. And you don't have to like a government to be loyal to your country, to be patriotic to your country. And as I get older, I want to do something to help this country, to help its people. It's not all time about the money. If we could help each other, we could probably reduce crime, make a better neighborhood. These are the kind of things I'm looking for, Freddie, and I want to play my role in it.
Well, I think most sane or rational person has to make a distinction between the government and the country. I mean, the University of Guyana, the public hospital, the Forestry Commission, the NIS, have nothing to do with party politics. You can't knock the NIS if you don't like the ruling party. The NIS is there forever. You can't knock the university and try to undermine it because of the ruling party.
Call coming in. Good evening, caller. Hello. All right, I missed that one. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, Freddie and Gildarie.
Good evening, sir. Go right ahead.
Just calling to say congratulations to you and both of you guys. And you guys are doing an awesome job and keep it up, okay? I'm very proud of both of you. That's all I got to say.
Thank you very much. It means a lot, but it also means that we are serving the people. I don't know if Freddie maybe want to make a thing. We're here to do that.
Yeah, of course, this is a free service. But since I was small, I gravitated to the idea that you've got to do something in your own sphere to make life better where you live.
Of course, we all have a responsibility for that.
That's right.
All right, so thank you very much.
I growing up reading you two guys things in the paper, so I have great respect for the two of you.
You make us sound as if I think you read Freddie for a long time. I only started writing my columns around 2011. Thereabouts. So I'm pretty young compared to Freddie. Freddie has been around. I read Freddie for a long time too. But thank you very much, my brother. God bless.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Well, please stop me when the phone lines begin to ring, because calling is for the people. But I forgot when we had the anniversary and Critic was our guest because he provides this platform. I forgot to carp and harp on the one issue I have since we started this program. Buy local. If we don't have the local equivalent of this, good. So we understand we have to buy this non-alcoholic wine. But if there are things that we could buy local, we must buy it. I live across the road from Marseille, and I go in there, and I tell you, Gildarie, that thing is just shameful to see how Guyanese shop.
Yeah, we got to start buying more local, but we have to improve our quality too. Good day, good evening, caller.
Good night, Freddie and
Leonard. Go ahead.
Leonard, thank you. I want to call to say that the prices for the house lot for the poor man is too much, and the little added sum for the title and processing fee and all that, it carries the poor man actually to 300,000. It's not easy to find that money in Guyana. Plus, you have to survive day to day. You have to eat, you have to pay bills, and then you have to put aside that money to pay the government for those lots. Why? Why is it so costly? Why aren't the government, the housing department streaming? Why they streaming these guys, see how much they're earning, how much they could afford to pay, why they don't, like back in the days we had low-income house lots. I don't know, these are not low-income house lots that they're talking about, or low-income homes anymore. It's called that, but I don't think it's that. It's way hard
for the sake of information, ma'am, I hear the pain that you're saying there, and my apologies for interrupting you, but let's put it in context. Let's put it in context here. You were asked to buy a land that you believe that was the price is a little too high. Could you give us some information there? What kind of price were you asked to pay?
So it's like my nephew. He showed me a bill where he have to pay like 200 and something thousand. The total cost or something added up the other fees for the processing.
What's the cost of the land? What's the cost of the land?
I will find out. I don't have it in hand. I should have gotten it now, but I don't. But I was looking at it total sum. It's too much, and my nephew does taxi driver work. It's so hard, and their bills. Then you have to. It's not easy. And then another thing, I have another nephew. They apply for land how many years now, and they're not getting their land. Every time they call the housing department, these people make some excuse and some excuse. Who are getting these lands?
Well, there's a couple of things there. They're opening new lands now, and before, I think there was a time when they used to put people to go into the land and take it up, and then the infrastructure comes afterwards. I think they're moving towards getting the infrastructure, but not only that too. Each community now, they're given a mixture of you could build, but there's also ready-made homes that are going to be there. They're doing it in a different way now. I think it's called sustainable housing or some development, I think it is. But I agree with you, and I would like to know what kind of prices, because I remember when Diamond first opened, the prices were like between 100,000 to 300,000. Then there was a jump. I think low income was about 400,000 or 500,000. Then middle income was about 800,000. If you wanted big land, and the $1 million quarter in Diamond, that was about 1.5. We know now that it's millions of dollars. Our migrant pays about $8 million per house lot. I'd be interested to know what the cost of a low-income house is.
So my nephew, I think it's close to 300,000 with the additional fees and the title, testing of the title and the. But on another program, I'm gonna try to get the information. But still, if it's not those millions and the 300,000 or 200 and something thousand, Gildarie,
for person, yes.
For the poor man.
Yeah, I think we could do something, but I don't think that the ministry is totally closed up everything. I think there's some help and grants. A man called me today to complain that he's not getting steel. I think the government has a program to give steel and cement, and he believed that he should have gotten more. But some countries, they don't get those kind of subsidies.
Are you there on the line, madam?
Yes, I am.
I think what needs to be done, and I've always believed in this, madam, that you need, when the state is handing out money, when the state is giving tangible things to people, they need to do a means test. Because, as you say, a taxi driver, in his world, the income he earns, $300,000 may be very excessive. Whereas you may have somebody who have a small business in which they earn far more than 300,000 a week. They can easily. So I think the government needs to spend some money on a means test. I can tell you, I went to the hospital a few years ago, the bone section, and I saw people with fancy cars receiving good treatment from the hospital. They can afford that. But I don't know how the hospital is going to apply a means test. It can't. People just got to go into the hospital. But I believe for other things, you can do a means test.
Yeah, because taxi driver, right? It depends on your location too. You're not making that much money, and you know, it's not easy. I know, because I have to help my relatives time and again, because my nephews, they don't have a mother. And, you know, it's pressure because, let me say, this thing that the government giving out these people, business people grant, this thing needs to be shared properly, where you help poor people too that cannot afford to pay for these land. Why not do it in different areas, not just these business people, small grants all the time. Let the people who can't afford housing, give them some priority too. You understand, Mr. Kissoon?
Yes, sir.
So are you saying that those grants that are being shared out, you have evidence, or you've seen, you have reason to believe that it's not being done in an even-handed manner?
I mean, not that it's not done, No, that's not my point. My point is, if you're going to help one sector or one.
Yeah, I take your point. It got to be spread. Wealth of a country has to be shared. To be spread.
Yes, that's what I mean. In different levels, not just on the business sector, like you doing your business or whatever. Help these people that can't even get a land.
You know, madam, your call is so relevant tonight. You are calling us. You are calling us tonight about what you consider a social inequality, but you're calling us on the very date that the common entrance results are out. You know, for the past 90, 100 years, our education system has been very unjust. Region 4 people get the bulk of our education resources, and they end up at St. Stanislaus, Queen's College, Bishops. You need to have a Bishops and a Queen's College. You need to have those type of schools in different regions. That I think the Queen's College thing is so wrong, and I must say that was one of the things I personally admired about Burnham. Burnham started those multilateral schools, and they would have competed with Queen's College.
Yeah, so can I add a few minutes, just a minute or two more to call?
Sure.
Now, what you're saying there, that's so good, because my brother and I, we wrote common entrance in the late 70, early 80, and my brother made it to Queen's College, but guess what? He couldn't go there because at those times, the PNC was in government, and we all know what was going on, and the rumors and all of that, and we couldn't afford it. So he was robbed of that because Barbies didn't have the boy. He had to go to Multi. He did well. He had a scholarship from the government, or whatever. But the point is what you're making there, and this is not to pull down our government, but at one time I know, like a couple of years back, when the government had I don't know if it's still now, like Rosignol School is considered multi, and the children were denied going over, getting a school over New Amsterdam, like Burbage High and multi and BI. A lot of children on the West Coast, they see those schools as like, they look up to those schools as like role model, and they aspiring to go there. Why government should allow parents who afford to send their children to those schools? Let them go. Give the children the schools that they deserve, and let them make a choice the school they want to go. And like you said, I think what I'm saying should fall in what you're saying, Mr. Kissoon.
Okay.
Everybody should afford, be given.
Okay, stay in touch.
Thank you very much. Some very pertinent points, and it's heartfelt. Thank you very much. Bye. Good evening, caller.
Hi, good evening, Leonard.
Good evening, sir.
Concerning the bidding in terms of the housing, the price that is paid, will be allegedly to be paid.
They're talking, I think, is a processing fee that she was quarreling about.
No, but I think that you're saying the thing where the price of the land is a little too high.
Right. Well, we would like to know some of those numbers.
I was listening to an interview with Minister Cole, and he was pointing out that each house plot in the low-income area is subsidized by $3 million for the provision of infrastructure, drainage, roadway, and pure water supply and electricity. So the price, you see, sometimes you just got the price of the land, but pure water supply, drainage, roads, and electricity, and it's not just an easy time when prices are high, and people need to. So basically, they are being subsidized by $3 million for outlets at the lower level.
Yes, that has always been something that the government is saying, that you don't pay the right prices for it.
The rising expectation of people to know that you're probably getting this thing that this oil money is falling like manna from heaven is not available.
You see, but it's very difficult to explain that to somebody who got kids and family and have an understanding what the government is subsidizing and so on. I understand clearly, and I knew that for a very long time.
But her argument, sir, her argument is contextual.
Yes.
And context is everything. In any society, there are classes, and there are people at an advantage and then others. That's where the state comes in. I believe I have some socialist thinking in me. I will never abandon that. I am very leftist and socialist.
But however, I think we probably interviewed Minister Coach to be able to clarify.
Well, we've invited him.
Now, if I go to have a family, I live with $3 million at the level, at the same $3 million at the going right through at the top. Then that will be unrealistic and unfair. What should be is a gradient thing between is a higher amount at the lower level and a medium and a higher at the medium and lower amounts at the higher level. So it means the higher amounts at the higher levels. So if at the what you call the middle income people, the subsidy probably might just be $2 million, and the people at the higher level probably pay no amount of money, no subsidy at all, or very little. But the people at the bottom should probably get a little more, perhaps.
Yeah.
Okay, Freddie.
Right, thanks.
Bye.
Thank you very much. There's somebody here who's asking. I'm going to come back to that. Good evening, caller.
Hello.
Hi, good evening. Go right ahead.
Hi, Gildarie. How are you?
Yes, go right ahead.
I heard this girl was talking about the school there, and Freddie was saying that Burnham had done something good. He was going to, if he was there, he was going to take Queen's College to all over the country, right? But I can tell you, I was in Guyana. I'm not there now. And I was going to Technical Institute. I was working on the sugar estate at Lenora. And when they scrapped Lenora, what they did, they allow all the Negro guys to go.
Please don't use
and the
that
Indian
word.
guys tell them, we are not sending people to school again.
Yeah.
When they scrap what?
The scrap
Burnham didn't want.
When they scrap what?
Lenora Estate, because Lenora Estate is still operating.
No, but Lenora Estate was scrapped just about 20 years ago. When he's talking about the time of Burnham.
Okay.
Yes, I'm talking about in 76.
Okay.
What was scrapped in 76? What was scrapped in 76?
Not the estate wasn't scrapped, it was scrapped in 87.
No, what? You said something was scrapped. What was scrapped? You said something was scrapped.
Oh, we were going to Technical Institute.
Right.
African guys and Indian guys.
You were going to Technical Institute. You were going to Technical Institute in Lenora in 1976.
I was going to Technical Institute in Georgetown.
Yeah, you said something was scrapped. That's what I want to know. What was scrapped?
There's a Lenora Estate.
Okay.
No, not the estate. Not the estate. I'm saying that the scrap.
Hello.
Yes, you were going to Technical Institute and African. And
what did they scrap? You said they scrapped something. That interests me, and I want to know what.
They stopped the Indian guys from going. And
they stopped
the
or
African
scrapped?
Guys to go.
Where? What?
At Lenora Estate.
What that has to do with the lady? You started out with the point about the lady and school, and you made reference to Burnham starting the multilateral schools. What? Right. So go on from there. Go on.
Listen, Freddie. What I'm saying that you were saying that Burnham at that time, if he was there, he was going to put schools like all these Queen's College and all these other schools.
He started a number of multilateral schools that were larger than Queen's College, had more facilities, and it was the type of schools that would have benefit people from outside of the upper echelons of society. But what's your point about the school thing the lady made?
But if you have people from Guyana, all Guyanese going to this Technical Institute, and you're saying that you'll be stopping this, everybody should be stopped. not allow the African guys to go and the Indian guys.
I don't understand what you're trying to say, sir. You're confusing the hell out of me.
Excuse me, sir. Let me say this. Let me say this to you. And I'm saying this. I am saying this in unambiguous grammar. I lived in this country all my life, and there's never been a policy. There's never been a policy of the government, whether PPP, PNC, except in the colonial times, of stopping people from going to school. I do not accept your point that in the 70s they stopped Indians from going to school.
It happened to me, and it have 3 more or 4 more guys living here in Canada and America, and I can tell you, I can get them to vouch for that.
Okay, sir.
That happened to us.
Okay, sir.
Under Burnham government.
Okay.
So I don't know what you're talking, Freddie.
Well, I was living in Guyana at that time, and I'm still living in Guyana, and I'm still doing my research.
All right.
I don't.
Freddie, let me ask you something. I'm not quarreling with you, Freddie. I just want to ask you something.
I get upset when every time people put racial interpretation.
Hold on. Freddie, let me ask you something. You're in Guyana. Who money started that national insurance scheme?
So
the money that they started national insurance scheme in 1969, who money started it? Where Burnham get that money from?
I don't think I want to go. I don't want to go into the direction you're going. I don't want to go, but I'm telling you this. This program, this show is for people to come and give their thoughts and their reflections. It's not for any narrow interpretation of Guyana's race relation or sociology.
No, it's not a narrow interpretation. I ask you a simple question. Burnham started the national insurance scheme with who money?
The government of Guyana started the national insurance scheme, and it has lived up to its useful purpose.
Yeah, where you get the money? Where you get the money to start it?
Where we got the money from? I'm assuming it's from.
Where did he get it from? Let me get this over with quickly. Where did he get it from?
You want to know where he get it from?
Where he got it from?
He took $80 million from the Sugar Labor Welfare Fund that the Indian people used to get in the sugar industry to build house, and started a national insurance scheme. Go back in the history.
Okay, was that a bad thing in terms of forming the NIS for that?
Thanks for coming, Chief. Yes. We gotta go.
It was.
There is where he started it. You go back and check it. You go. No, you're in Guyana all the time.
Okay,
I was in Guyana during that time.
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot for coming.
Got you.
You made your point. Thanks a lot. Bye.
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 Well, you will get this.
Good evening, caller.
Good evening. How are you?
Pretty good, sir.
I just want to congratulate you on your achievement in life.
I'm not sure about the achievement. I want to play a role and be recognized as being a good citizen of this country.
I see what you have done, and I am a young entrepreneur also.
Yes.
I'm doing grind seasoning with board pepper.
I like that. I like board pepper. I like it bad.
I don't like pepper at all.
Good for the heart.
Never ate it.
Good for the immunity.
I hate pepper, sir.
That's Freddie. That's your business, Freddie.
And I would like you to come one day at Woodley Park and give me...
I know you would have called us already, yes.
Yes, and I want...
This is a man whose nickname is Nip It in the Bud?
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to come there one day. I love board pepper. I eat board pepper all the time.
Is Nip It in the Bud speaking?
Mr. Nip It in the Bud. I hate pepper.
Nip It in the Bud, one guy.
That's Freddie Kissoon for you. All right, thank you very much,
anyway,
Mr. Nip It in the
we're
Bud.
going to hold the calls now.
Yes.
If you're listening, we have an announcement to make.
What announcement you got for me?
Just hold the calls. We have an announcement to make. Cameraman, please set the camera on me.
Jeez.
Please set
we have a Freddie moment.
We have an announcement to make for all our viewers all over the world. We have an announcement to make. Please take a moment silence and listen to my announcement. Leonard Gildarie 2 weeks ago did what I did 44 years ago. What did I do 44 years ago? I picked up a lady named Janet Kissoon, Janet Mohammed, and we walked into the post office and got married. The past 2 weeks, Leonard Gildarie in 2023 did the exact thing. 2 weeks ago, my co-host Leonard Gildarie got married. So we're gonna have the operators and I'm Gildarie, we're gonna have a little drink to that. But before that, the shirt I'm wearing here, this shirt here, he brought it back for me. There's something interesting about this shirt. The collar tag says large, but the shirt is very tight for me. So I think Gildarie should know there's Chinese size, American size, and European size. When you go to buy footwear, when you go to buy a jogger, you look at the different, whether it's European made and American made. So Ida Gildarie, after he got married, went over to China and buy a large shirt, which would be small in the Guyanese context. Or when he went to City Hall in New York to get married, the mayor probably gave him this shirt as a gift. But I'd like to thank him for it, and I'm wearing it this evening. If you are listening to us, Leonard Gildarie got married at the New York City Hall 2 weeks ago. There were a couple, for the past year, there were a couple of discreet questions as to whether Gildarie is married. Well, I'm an old man, I'm a chocolate diet. I've been married 44 and a half years, very much in love with my wife. And I know Gildarie is very much in love with his wife. I know the lady, quite a nice, pretty woman. So we're gonna have a drink celebrating the marriage 2 weeks ago in the City Hall of New York of Guyana's famous journalist, Leonard Gildarie. After we have our drink, we're gonna call in our operators to have a drink with us. Adaiki Hicks and Robert Saddam, Robert Hussein, that is the former president of Iraq, Saddam Hussein's son. You're gonna see him. You're gonna see him just now. So let's have a drink for Gildarie's wedding 2 weeks ago. He is now a married man, and he followed in my footsteps. I hope I'm not a bad influence on him. In 1979, I walked into the post office in Guyana, Georgetown, on Rob Street, got married. He walked into City Hall in New York, got married. So, non-alcoholic. I don't drink alcoholic, so non-alcoholic. So, Gildarie and I will have a drink, then our operators will have a drink with us. Gildarie is a drunkard, so you want to open this thing? I don't know how to open these things.
I don't understand what's the relevance of this, Freddie.
You don't want, you're a well-known name in Guyana. People should know.
The time I don't point to the tip before I get charged tomorrow, though.
People should know that you're married. I said in the program when Neil Marks was here, I think you and Neil Marks are two of the longest serving journalists in Guyana and two of the best journalists this country produced the past 30 years. You and Neil Marks. You should, if you don't beat your drum in this country, nobody's going to beat it for you. I worked with you 15 years at Kaicho. I think Neil Marks and you are extremely good, dedicated journalists. I hope you never come out of journalism. So, a toast for the married man, Leonard Gildarie.
How you tell me that you don't drink? Because the way that you pour that thing is as if you're
non-alcoholic. Look,
you look as if
never
you're going
touch
to
alcoholic in my life. Leonard, take your cup.
There's a story. Cheers, Freddie. Cheers. Cheers, folks. So there's a story there. When we met, I couldn't afford a ring. I couldn't afford a real diamond ring, so I gave her one of these cheaper rings, and she lost it. The next time I was working at Kaicho News, and we tried to do something that is a little more ceremonial. So we did a little, we call it a little something similar to a jandy. I'm Christian, so there's a word to describe that, and this pandit came and thing. I couldn't even afford while working at Kaicho News to do a wedding, and we want to formalize it. So they migrated, my family migrated early this year. I went up there, then for her to come back, leave the kids. we went over and we did something at the city hall. So the city hall said, we don't have somebody who could perform the ceremony. Do you have a family member or somebody that could do it? And so we got somebody.
What they call Michael Rodriguez and let him fight.
You don't have a U.S. Visa.
If Michael Rodriguez is hearing this, you don't have a visa. Suppose Gildarie what?
Yeah, maybe
I don't have a visa. I would have gone and said, no, I don't have a visa.
No, so the Long Island laws allow you to have somebody licensed to officiate the ceremony, and we were able to do that. So we were supposed to go by my family. When I went there was a crowd. So they planned it, and there was a little nice family gathering. But so it was 3 times that we really kind of got married, and I'm hoping to do an official ceremony.
You married 3 times?
To invite you to come across. I must do that.
Come across to New York?
No, we can do it probably in Guyana, just for the sake of you.
I don't know if I'll get... I write critical things about the West and other countries in my columns, as you would know. And now the past 2 months, I'm doing a daily column for the Chronicle. I don't know if I'll get a U.S. visa.
You know about waltzing? Do you know to dance in music, like screw the bulb and things like that?
I don't know to dance.
You don't know to
I don't know to
try
dance.
it?
I don't know to dance.
Have you ever tried it?
One of my regrets in life is that I'm unable to dance a song that does things to me. I really like this song. It's at the top of my list. It's Barry White's instrumental song.
What about Canton and Babylon Manners?
I don't know to dance it, but can we call in one each of our operators to take a drink with Leonard Gildarie? He was married to...
You enjoyed this, aren't you?
So if our operators are here, can you come in please and have a drink? We only have 2. Gildarie bought the 2 cups. I told Gildarie to buy 4 cups. 2 for us, 2 for the operators. So the operators will have to bring in their own glass. So here is our first operator. Could you come to the back here?
No problem.
With your cup. Now,
y'all had this all planned out and everything?
This guy you're seeing here, his name is Robert Hussein. He is the son of the Iraqi president, the former Iraqi president. Saddam Hussein.
Your face dry talking this thing?
He came here to Guyana when he was a baby, and David Hines took him and brought him up. So have a drink. Have a drink for Gildarie. Tell me when to stop.
That's okay.
Cheers,
Mr. Gildarie.
Cheers. Thank you very much. Freddie Kissoon said he never drank rum in his life, but the way that he was pouring that bottle, right, it contradicts everything. I must say that I don't believe you for 1 second that you.
So it's I am 44 and a half years into marriage. So by the time he reached 44 and a half years, I am dead. Mm-hmm. How many years you want to achieve? You gotta get married, Robert.
Too young.
You should have got married. You should go, when you're ready to get married, you got to go back in your father's country, Saddam Hussein's country, and get married. Could our next guest, could our next operator come in and have a drink with Gildarie? If you just tune in, Leonard Gildarie, Guyana's famous journalist and co-host of this program, got legally and officially married at City Hall in New York 2 weeks ago. Now, here is another operator that makes the show possible. His name is Adaiki Hicks. I heard people refer to him as Sweet Boy Adaiki. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Tell me when to stop.
Yeah.
This is almost like a sideshow we have in here, but let's go right ahead.
Yeah. Cheers to you.
Cheers, man.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate it.
Adaiki, are you married?
No, I'm not married, man.
So you're planning to get married?
Not very soon.
So you using my example to
the man get married. I am married for 4.5 years. So
well,
I had a good journalist.
Congratulations to both you and Gildarie.
I had a good journalist friend who describes such occasion like this as public masturbation. I don't know.
That's his view. That's his view. You got all kinds of views with people. You just
it always stuck in my head to hear something talk about that. But Freddie Kissoon, it was always.
The lines are open back again. In case you just joined us, we were celebrating Leonard Gildarie's marriage 2 weeks ago at City Hall in New York, and he bought this shirt back for me. It's it's large, but it's Chinese large, so it's tight for me. So I think he still didn't tell me if he went over to China, bought this, or the mayor of New York gave him this when he was signing the papers. But thanks for the shirt, I like it. It's navy blue.
It's linen, Freddie Kissoon. Good evening. This is a message from one of the viewers. Good evening, sir. I have one concern. I'd like the Ministry of Health to look into this matter at the public hospital emergency. You have to wait about half an hour to 3/4 of an hour before someone could come out and register you when you're there with the pain and no one cares. And we hear these complaints all the time. We're not there yet, but also you guys should know that some people leave all the way from the East Bank and from areas. Their regional hospitals make use of the regional hospitals. But if the authorities will listen to us, people complaining about the length of time from when you go into the emergency hospital that somebody come to look at you. Let's pay attention to that. Good evening, caller.
Good evening again, sir.
Yes.
Gildarie.
Yes.
What I would like to ask of you is I want to get this business published. And I'm 58 years of age, and I recently started this business for my grandson.
Which business is that?
Nipit. And I want to get it published, and I don't know much about this.
All right, give me a call after the air, and maybe sometime Monday or so, and let us see. Maybe I can advise you.
Okay, thank you.
Let the people have this say. Thank you very much for coming through.
Right, in case you just joined us, you just missed our celebration of Gildarie.
Good evening, caller. Freddie Kissoon with the side shows.
Good evening.
Yes, go right
Good evening, gentlemen. I was watching Bosai opening up something by the president.
Yeah, some killing or something. The president was there.
Yeah, the president, and he invited the regional guy and the mayor, right? And when they're about to cut the ribbon, the president asked for the mayor and the regional counselor, or whatever you call him, and they went to lunch. They didn't stay.
I say it again, the president they invited, or the mayor was invited, and they decided not to attend, and they went to lunch.
Yeah, they were supposed to, the president called for them to go and cut the ribbon with them, and they left. They didn't. Nothing is going to change again. These people are not going to cooperate.
But I don't understand when the president and
that's very petty of them.
Yeah, but when the president comes into the area, you don't have to like the president, but you have to respect the office. I mean, if they're coming into the area, there are certain protocols that has to be observed. Could you skip out of something like that if you're the mayor? How does the mayor...
The issue is...
Where is that news? Is it something that we're hearing, or is it probably somebody carried it?
This was a live taping when they were opening, they were going to cut the ribbon. They were there. The mayor of Linden and the regional counselor, whatever. And when the president asked for them to come and cut the ribbon, they weren't there. Somebody said they left and gone to lunch. So nothing is going to change, bro. Nothing is.
Well, a lot of things. Hold on a minute, sir. Things are going to change. Let me tell you something. Go through that local government election with a fine-tooth comb, and you will see the changes are coming. Those people, by their behavior, are going to become irrelevant. Let me tell you this as an analyst, as an academic. For 3 years, the Kaicho News and the Starbook News have been saying the most poisonous things about this government. Every editorial, if you know the people who write editorials to the Starbook and the Kaicho, I know them. Poisonous people. And for 3 years, you had this constant banging. And look what the voting showed in Georgetown. The PPP's parliamentary presence in the city council increased from 6 to 11. The people
the council seats you're talking about that.
But I'm using the word parliamentary in an extended sense. The people almost won New Amsterdam. Let me tell you something. They have a group of people, middle class, clay complexion people. A lot of them living abroad. I call them the usual. I call them the usual suspects. These people write a letter every 2 weeks in the papers saying all kinds of things about the government. Now, surely that didn't translate into how people voted. the ruling party has taken Bartica, never won Bartica. So you're going to see as the years go on, these people are going to become irrelevant. Don't worry with that pessimism that we're not going anywhere. We are going somewhere. I'm telling you, that guy of an Ali is going to take his place among the great leaders of CARICOM. Yes.
You know what bothers me? And thank you very much for that, caller. Thank you very much. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You know what bothers me? That we can't find it in our hearts to find something. That we could agree with the government of the day. Parties can't agree with us. So find something that is beneficial, something that is common for the common good of all. We can't agree with it, but we put petty politics in it.
It's too petty.
People just Sharma Solomon. I'm disappointed. I thought he was a very intelligent young man. Good evening, caller.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Gildarie. I didn't realize you got married, so please accept my congratulations.
I'm going to be 50 this year, sir.
On your wedding.
So I had to.
The point I want to bring up here is, have you all seen the massive amount of mangroves that are growing now from around Kitty Seawall, Kitty Pump area, all the way down to Ogle?
Yeah, I've seen it. I'm often there.
Yeah, those will become big trees eventually, along there. So a lot of people's views will be blocked eventually from all those nice houses in Lamaha.
It is very critical for that.
I don't know if there may be a scientific explanation, a geological explanation for that. That road that we travel on in Kitty, those houses are very near to the sea, very near to the ocean.
But what has happened, I think all the mud that has been dredged up to the dredging of the Demerara River to make it deeper for the shore base has dumped all this silt along the seawall, and very quickly the mangroves took root.
That's interesting.
Once they take root and more of that stuff coming in, it'll just...
It's interesting, but the mangrove has always been seen as a natural defense against the sea level, and I would look at it with a very positive eyes. All right.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you very much for coming through, caller. Bye-bye. And some very nice calls tonight, I must say that when people are making some points. Good evening, caller. Yes, go right ahead, man.
Yes, good evening. I'd just like to say a few words.
Yes. Go ahead, we're listening.
We listen to you. Hello, sir.
Okay, good night. Yes, sir. Oh, okay. Just on the point on the journalists in Guyana, I think it is very important for a country to have two things. The country needs to have a strong opposition, and it needs to have good, honest journalists in the country. Unfortunately, a lot of the journalists there and people who are in a very, very good position, they make a lot of statement, and many times it's not correct, and they must know that what they're saying is wrong. But why are they doing that? I think it's because of evil intention. I've been in the fishing business, and a lot of people say that the oil company is the one that make the fish go away and all of this craziness. And these people who are making these type of outlandish statements, they get a lot of traction. But I can tell you, the oil company has nothing to do with the depletion of fish in Guyana.
Of course, and Guyanese know that too. Guyanese, we're not stupid on here, Guyanese know that.
That's been going on. That particular thing, I happen to know it because when I was in the newspaper, we were always covering it, and the fish stock in the ocean has been dwindling because of overfishing. That's why you have seasonal fishing with trawlers and the quotas on trawlers and so on, and that's a fact.
So you're in the fishing business in Guyana?
also in North America, and I've been in the fishing business in North America much longer than I've been in Guyana fishing business. But it's the same problem we have in the U.S., whereby the depletion, and what Gildarie said a moment ago, is the fact it is depletion because of overfishing. Now, I can tell you for a fact that in Africa, there are a country in Africa whereby the fishermen no longer go with the nets and fish. What they do, they leave early in the morning and they go with the boat into the ocean, and these motherships, these Chinese motherships, will give them all of the excess fish that it is of no value to them, and that's what they bring back and sell in inland. So the sad thing, my only concern is this, is that when you are in a position of authority and you're making false statement, I think it's very, very sad, because you must know what you're saying is not correct, and it's just an evil intention. I personally have invested a significant amount of money in Guyana, and I could understand Gildarie getting upset a moment ago, when people are asking about agenda, because I have no agenda in Guyana. I want nothing from Guyana. Mr. Christopher Ram does my income tax. I pay my income tax. I have brought down several vehicles and several equipment, and I have never asked for duty-free, even though I think I'm entitled to get it because of the business, but I just don't want anything from there. But I just want to say, I don't know much about Gildarie, and I don't know much about Freddie, but for the little that I've known them, I think that Gildarie is an honest man and a straightforward man, and Freddie does have a place in what he does. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you.
Good evening, caller. Good evening, caller. I don't think the person is ready yet. Good evening, caller. Hello.
Good evening.
Yes, go right ahead.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Good night, Mr. Gildarie and Mr. Kissoon.
Yes, good night. Good night. Go ahead.
I always keep watching your program. I very enjoy it, and it's very interesting.
Yes, go on. Make a point.
Mr. Gildarie. Congrats to you, Mr. Gildarie, and your wedding anniversary.
No, it's not his wedding anniversary. He got married. His wedding anniversary is next year at this time.
Freddie is very familiar.
Go ahead, sir.
With the procedures.
Go ahead.
I would like to make one comment when Freddie said you should have got Mr. Critic as a pastor.
Oh, okay. That's when the world, that the world runs mad. I gotta tell Critic that. All right, thank you very much for coming through.
One thing I want you to clear up to me with Mr. Critic. I watched your program this morning, and the Critic said you don't like fun.
Yeah, because he was eating it at my bad time.
I was the first past son. I sent Critic, I eat 2 apples at a soul, and he eat about 2 or 3/4 he alone.
All right, I got you. Thank you very much for coming through there, man. Very good points. Thank you, and you're kind. Bye. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Gildarie, congratulations on your marriage.
Thank you. Go ahead.
So a few weeks back, I called into this program concerning GRE with pertaining to this mortgage relief that the system that got in place. Now, the system that got in place presently is a real frustration. Now, this is 8 months now. 8 months. Now, when I went in 2 weeks ago, they said that how all the documents wrecked. It's literally all it there. It gone up to upstairs to come down back. Come down again and saying they need the form 2 to be refilled from the bank again. Now the girl, the bank now saying
fair enough, they can give the farm too. Now when you refinance a loan, the bank, because they already hold the property already.
Well, hold on. I think the people out there are going to be confused. The mortgage relief mechanism was introduced by the government to give some benefits to the persons who are taking mortgage. I think it has something to do with tax. Could you give us a little explanation to the people, because not everybody is familiar with it, as to what happened, and then let's talk about what you experienced with GRA, because we would have to ask GRA to get involved. Maybe we could ask them to come sit here, and maybe they need to look at a lapsing in the system, or somebody sitting down and something is not doing the job.
Okay, so they give you back a percentage for what you have been paying to the bank.
Right.
They won't tell you exactly the percentage, but it got to do with the amount of tax you pay. So if you don't pay no tax, obviously you won't get back anything.
And taxes, this is from your revenues, or this is what you're talking about? From your revenues?
Taxes from your revenues, right?
Right.
Now, when you refinance your mortgage, the bank don't need to see photograph of what you're taking this money to do. If you refinance, so paint your house and do some repairs, you don't have to submit photographs again to the bank. Now, GR is asking for photographs. The bank don't have no photograph because they don't ask you to submit no other photographs. So the bank got no photographs, me got no photographs, because I never expect them to ask. Now, I had moved one loan, which I been paying from the public banks for 8 years. Move it over to Scotiabank. Scotiabank buy over the loan. So they got to give me back relief from 8 years back, and then 3 years, I think, from Scotiabank. But every time you go in, it's different issue. This one time they tell you everything already that the bank submit. Next time you go in,
Call me on Monday. This seems like an administrative issue that has to do with GRA. We recently, I think Freddie raised the issue of how banks behave. Some of the banks took it upon themselves to do certain or to adopt certain measures. When the matter was raised with the regulatory body, this Bank of Guyana, they backed down and they cleared it up very quickly. Remember, there was a time when even pensioners had to climb 2 mountains on Everest before they could open an account. All that has eased considerably because the Bank of Guyana did some things that stepped down in the bank. I think it could be this particular case that GRA is not familiar with what is happening. There's somebody down below or somebody's not doing the job fast enough. Give me a call on Monday. I'm going to ask Mr. Station or Mr. Biku or somebody. Right.
Here's one thing they do. Okay. I pay tax regular. They never tell you anything that you owe outstanding tax. Then they suddenly tell you now that I owe 580,000 from how much years gone back, and if I want to get it,
okay,
I gotta bring in.
Call me, yeah.
All right.
Call me on Monday.
Okay.
Call me on Monday and let's see what we can do.
Gildarie will look at it on Monday, right?
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Okay.
Right. Somebody is writing here, Mr. Diobodo. He is a listener looking at this program, and he says, "Gentlemen, I'm a captain for red snapper and fish near the oil rig, and the catch the red snapper. So the oil rig not stopping any fish." I just wanted to raise that. Good evening, caller.
Hey, good evening, Leonard. Good evening, Freddie. Just calling first, I want to congratulate you, Leonard, for...
Like this show is about Colin and wearing Freddie Kissoon has created a one, so go ahead.
Yeah, so I just want to call to congratulate you for taking that bold step. Congratulations again, man. The second point I want to make is that by the day I'm becoming, I get so more confident in our President Ali, with this marathon spell he did recently from Canada straight into Port of Spain, Trinidad. He's such a giant, he stood up, he represented our country as our country is being noticed in the world. On top of that, he came back home next day and, he hosted the Secretary of State. He stood like a tower there, man. I'm telling you, Guyana is so fortunate to have such a president at this point in its history.
Yeah, he has a lot of energy.
He's so full of energy, and on the next day he's in Linden opening up this new kiln there. It's unbelievable what we're seeing here, unprecedented energy, and
he's in the direction. Yes. He's in the direction of a fantastic legacy.
No, but that's what you want, the politicians, the kind of energy that comes from them, and I think he has it. He has it, and I like that. That is something
It's
about
the
him.
right time, and I agree with two things. But Leonard, you made a very good point this morning. I'm pretty sure, and you just said it again, that, regardless of what side of the aisle you are on, we have to respect the office of the president. And this guy is doing a fantastic job representing Guyanese, whether you believe in him or you don't agree with him. And Freddie made a great point that he's going to become one of the greatest in CARICOM. I completely am seeing this. I'm seeing the trend. The third thing I want to point out, with all of the greatness that, all of our president stood up for our country, the other thing I want to point out is that the audiovisual team that he has, that have representing or being at State House or any of the president's events, is a total failure. I am so disappointed at these guys. Every event, there is always such a glitch. And, we are on the international stage, and we can push out so much oil out of Guyana, and we can, I know we have the capabilities. I don't know if it is a deliberate attempt to sabotage what's going on there, but they need to do something about it.
I agree. Total breakdown there yesterday. Total breakdown there.
And it's constantly, any of the event, look at the independence event, the Republic event at, the Parliament, the coverage, and I've complained bitterly about this. We need to step up our game if we need to get on the international stage and be respected for every aspect of what we are doing. Thank you, guys. That's just my contribution.
Thank you. And I'm going to address this issue. I'm going to address this issue back with technology and how technology doesn't have to be expensive for it to be workable. Thank you very much, sir.
No. And I even escalated it to Kwame McCoy, the president, and, copied our minister on this. It was very disappointing and embarrassing to have that kind of coverage. Thank you, guys. Yeah.
I agree. I agree. We got to fix it, and I presume they're getting the message loud and clear. Fix it. Fix that issue there. And it don't have to cost a bundle of money. It's a mic.
Right. And imagine if CNN wants to carry that coverage from Guyana, it is pathetic. If Fox News and all the American media and BBC wants to carry it, we cannot do this kind of substandard stuff. We need to step up our game and get on in the game. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. God bless. Bye. Good evening, caller.
Yes. Good evening. Congratulations, Mr. Gildarie.
Sure. Go ahead. Thank you.
Good night, Mr. Kissoon.
Go ahead.
I am fully in support with the caller just now in his compliment to the finale president. He is energetic, visionary, and I think, like you guys mentioned earlier, that his presidency, his tenureship, will be an era to remember in Guyana's history.
And Freddie, there's a very good point you made there. Freddie would have written about this, but if there's somebody who's analyzing the leaders of this country here, and while one may very well argue that Irfan Ali came in at a time when Guyana is blessed to have oil and oil production, he could have very well gone south with this thing here and make some terrible decisions. He seems to be playing to the right tunes, and that is something you got to look at in the final analysis. He could have screwed it up. He could have screwed it up as well.
Prudently. So that is the word. Right? But more so, Mr. Irfan Ali, I must say kudos to him to confront or engage Mr. Akeem Jeffrey, the guy that were in many video clips with he and Mr. Rickford Burke, the racist guy. I think I would assume after that engagement with Mr. Irfan Ali or discussion, he should have a different perspective when it comes to Guyana and the political landscape.
Let me tell you what is happening there. You raised something that came. Freddie, I saw a picture of Van West Charles, former head of GWI, and I think Burnham's son-in-law is meeting, actually talking. I think he was in Canada with the president there. I saw a picture of Patricia Chase Green, and she came over, and her social media profile is a picture of her hugging up, I think it was by Jack Deal. You're seeing people, you're seeing some changes here, and like I said before,
before I go, right? Because I know you guys have a few minutes more. One point before I go is that what has happened in the last, let's say in the last 15 years, you find that young people are more in tune with the political landscape and its unfolding, right? And now if you look at the population, the voting pattern in the population, look, for instance, in the last local government election, if, well, I call them Slapnoo, don't feel anyway, if Slapnoo claimed that the PPP would have spent a lot of money, state resource, and they're culpable of buying votes, well, I think the 5,400 or 5,500 more persons who would have voted for the PPPC in the last local government election in Georgetown, I think they should get a bonus if they collect something. If you understand what I mean, right?
Mm-hmm. We got what you're saying. All right.
That's a metaphor, right? But
okay.
You guys have a great night, good show. And I think thus far, the Guyanese people are very much informed.
You didn't congratulate Gildarie. He got married 2 weeks ago.
Yes, I did. So congratulations to him at the beginning, right?
You know, mad with Freddie. Freddie's going to put you up with them boys up a gum tree.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Yes, enjoy your night.
Thank you very much, my brother. Bye-bye. Freddie, technology on the wall thing, when a television used to be, a flat screen television used to be thousands of dollars. You could get for $300, $400, $500 and get US dollars I'm talking about, and get a flat screen television. A mic, amplifier, those kind of things, the technology is there. Right about now, you used to put up a big antenna on top of your house if you want to transmit the radio. Now everything is being done. This show is social media. Everything is being done. So you have technologies out there that could happen. How could you not hear the Secretary of State at a platform like that, at an international platform like that? I mean, we can hit them, but let them hear the message very clear. Not good enough. Fix it.
I was looking at it. It was really embarrassing.
Yes, fix it. Let's see. There's another call coming in. Good evening, caller. Hello. Good evening, caller. We're not hearing you. Good evening, caller. I think we missed that one. Sorry for that. So we have like about 9 minutes more. Let us see if we can get those calls coming in. 231-2982, or you could call us or WhatsApp us. WhatsApp call us on 637-1071. It's been a pleasure being with you always, and the callers. We need to hear from you what exactly is happening, and so we could be able to tell the people. Let me see if there's any other messages that people are sending. I always have a lot of messages, thousands and thousands of messages. Let me see. I would like you and Freddie Kissoon to ask the minister who refines our oil how much it costs to refine it. Do you agree that the idea is better for us to refine our own oil? A quart of engine oil in Guyana is $2,700, which is $13 US. There's so much more to say, but if I sit here it's going to take me more than a day to express my thoughts concerning what's going on in Guyana. I find myself questioning the activities concerning the society today. So God goes much more, but thank you very much for that caller.
Questioning society today.
Yes.
I wish you'd explain that. What is he talking about?
A lot of people would have been quarreling about the audio. People, and that is good that people are actually raising issues about quality of audio, because it means that they're paying attention to what is happening politically in the political side, on the state side with our leaders. Good evening, caller. Hello.
That person called just now. That person has a problem with their phone.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
We're not getting through. My apologies. Let us see. If you could probably call from another number or something. Let me see. Good evening, caller.
That's the same number. That phone has a problem.
Yeah, you can't take that. Freddie, so much more has been going on in this country. Not only the students and not only climate change and those temperatures that we've seen there. I think an official within government was texting me and telling me that it's the beginning, I think, later this year, we're going to have a 3-year severe El Nino kind of impact. I think it is. And so let us ban our belly and get ready to deal with that. Let me see what he says. It's El Nino weather phenomenon. Start this year, last for 3 years. It will cause the temperature to probably rise another 15 degrees Celsius. I think that's crazy you're talking about here. If he feeling hot around 28, 29 degrees, I think our average temperature within the last couple of days was 35, 36.
Well, I hope the people, this country has its solid side. Now that we're into the hot period, I hope people who buying coolant for their car do not buy coolant with antifreeze in it, because you can't freeze. Your radiator cannot freeze in very hot temperature.
People are buying antifreeze here?
People, you know how much 2 gallon of coolant that antifreeze?
Antifreeze is a place like in America, folks. You have to pay attention. Don't be stupid.
Do you know people actually buy there's a call there?
No, there's 5 more minutes. Freddie, I want to ask you, do you believe that our country politically, there's arms of government, and this thing has been bothering me for the last 2-3 years especially, and especially since last year. I've always said, and somebody accused me of being on the opposition because I'm calling for a strengthening of the opposition. I would like to see functioning.
Somebody call you up because you're strengthening opposition?
Yeah, I said that the Senator Gildarie has always been.
So they don't want an opposition?
No, you must, as a citizen, you need an opposition to question.
Independent press, opposition.
Right, but
I don't think the members of this government, if you sit down and talk to them, they would say a country should not have an opposition.
No, but even in Parliament, there's some key positions that are filled by.
I think you have a call.
Yeah, I think it's the same caller. Let's try again. Good evening, caller. Hello.
No, that person is just probably making. No, it's probably just.
Hello.
No, it's just probably just miss.
Yeah, you weren't getting through. Go right ahead. Hello. I don't know. Something happened.
What would if you call them?
Why would I call somebody back?
Because they may be honestly trying to get you.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. But Freddie, I don't know, but it bothers me that we don't have an opposition, which is it should be a little more vocal. Good evening.
I want to ask you,
could you lower your volume, please, right away? Hello.
Good night, good night, Gildarie.
Sure, good night.
Good night, Freddie.
Good night.
Congratulations to you.
To who? Freddie and me getting married?
Excuse me.
I don't understand.
Excuse me.
Freddie is taking umbrage. Yeah,
for 4.5 years.
He said he's been married for 4 years.
So I love immensely.
So it's an impossibility that he and I can get married.
I want to say congratulations to all the students that write their exam. Congratulations to them. Okay, good night. You guys take care.
Thank you very much.
You know what is the amount of marks you have to get to go into Queens? And
there's some cutoff points. There's some cutoff points, but you
don't know the number.
No, I could get it. I would have to do some research. Yeah. So $4.99 I think to go to Queens. If you get $4.99 and above. So the kids, hold on. The kids, it's 507 marks is a max mark, and you get 506.7. 3 of them die. How do you get 0.7?
The government, APNU won the election by point-something% in 2015. And of course, we know why. Looking back at it now, you know the role Mr. Brian Hunt, the charge d'affaires of the U.S. Embassy in 2015, they didn't have an ambassador. And we know why APNU law won that election by point-something%. Because of Brian Hunt. You know, this country's politics is so interesting.
I always wanted to ask you, and maybe in closing, Freddie. I think they're telling me that we got like about 2 more minutes. It may be in the closing, or maybe in next time we could think. Do you believe in as an analyst, as somebody who looks at history and maybe analyze political parties, that the 2020 elections, the loss of the 2020, or the out of power for the PPP in 2015 to 2020? It may have been a blessing in disguise for the party, for the PPP party, to have regrouped, to start regrouping. Do you believe so?
I think any party that has been in power for over 10, 15, 20 years, when they lose power, it could only be a positive thing for the country and for that party to reflect on where they went and the mistakes they made, and it makes them a better party. I think the PPP lost in 2015, and in 2020, we have a president, and we have Anil Nandalal. I can speak for the president and Nandalal. I think they are essentially positive humans with a positive agenda for Guyana. And with an economy that is sustainable, I think Guyana is now on its way. But my question is, yes, when parties lose power after long hold on the reign, it gives them a chance to make themselves better.
I can remember, I think it was Barjack, the former president of Guyana, now the vice president, and a recent, I think, interview, maybe not too long, within the last 2 years, would have admitted, he says, it called for some serious introspection within the party, and it probably was a good thing. At least that's how I read it.
He made reference to that.
I think they said that we made some. He also said something that we made some mistakes. Maybe we became too complacent, which is a good thing to admit that as a party. But they would have learned, and you would have seen the role. He retired, then he came back and put his party, became general secretary, and we had sat. But it's good to look at that, the evolving of history within this country. Any quick thoughts before we wrap it up?
No, just that I always say this program last week reached a year, and since we came here, you have your little thoughts, I have my thoughts. Please buy local. The Bihari group of companies are now making peas and mixed vegetable and other thing in tins. There's a company now that's making fresh cow milk in the bottles. There are people, making local beverage. There's coconut water now that in bottles that you can buy. And we Guyanese have to support our people. There are people out there making things, local product that are single mothers. We're going to have a man named Badesi on this program in the coming weeks. He makes sardines. The people who own Brunswick sardines that we buy in the supermarket, they don't know where Guyana is. So I just want to end on that note, that my exhortation, as I've been advocating the past year in this program, please buy local. That's all. We'll see you on Monday. And if you just join us, then our Gildarie got married 2 weeks ago. He came back and he bought this shirt for me. He didn't say if he bought it in China or he got it as a gift from City Hall when he got married. The mayor was there when you got married. You got married at City Hall. Did you see the mayor?
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a wrap. When Freddie hold on to somebody, he's like a dog with a bone. He wouldn't lose it for anything.
No, you got to tell your viewers that you got married.
But we're very happy that to be back. And Freddie has been married for 40-something years, and he's very happy that I've joined the ranks, at least officially, that is. It's been a pleasure as always being with you. I really like some of the calls tonight. These are the kind of conversation that we need with our people and between our people about the development of this country. And let's continue to have those conversations. We're never going to find all the right answers, but not discussing it, not looking for answers. It's not a place that we want to be. And I want to be in the midst of asking those questions and at least having a discussion about the solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make sure that you stay safe on our roadways and overseas. Folks, thank you for joining us as always. We have quite a number of them, and they're always very vocal about what's happening down in the little beautiful Guyana. They yearn to be back here. They're living overseas, and there's nothing wrong with that. You could be over there, still love your country, and still have your little say as well. So wherever you are, whatever it is you're doing, good night on behalf of myself, Freddie Kissoon, and this is Leonard Gildarie. This is the Gildarie Freddie Kissoon Show. We will be back with you on Monday. Goodbye. Thank you very much, operators.